All right, everybody, thank you for joining us today. We'll start with the statement, then we'll take questions. Coach?
Yeah, obviously, super disappointing loss today. Devastating, really. Considering our effort, I thought our guys were really ready to play. Had a great first 28 minutes. Thought our defense was great. Our activity, we were doing a great job on Williams and Gary. Had the 20-point lead, and guys just don't understand when you have a team that's kind of at a breaking point. You gotta go to the other side. We got a couple turnovers there that we then turned over when we were up 18, up 20, and then they come down and hit a three. And you look back and you say, you lose a close game, but those are little plays where all of a sudden you come down in transition and score, and you go up 22, and then you go up 24. You can really break a team spirit. But give Nebraska credit, they got veteran guys that really hung in there, and we didn't play very smart basketball. We had a number, forget about missed shots. We had some really careless turnovers. Our defense, though, guys, we can say what we want. We gave up 47 in the second half, and that's just not – the very first thing we said at halftime was they had 21 points. If they're in the 20s in the second half, they can't win. And they went from 21 in the first to 47 in the second. So we can talk about turnovers and missing shots and all that, but our defense wasn't where it needed to be in the second half, and that's why we lost. We had some really critical breakdowns on actions, on simple ball screen actions where we didn't talk through switches. Even the last play that Mia had, we didn't switch correctly on the backside, which led to Wooster being open. Then he dumped it off to Mia. We had an opportunity to foul Mia, right there and you got to make him make 2 free throws instead of laying the ball in the basket. We didn't handle. We scored to cut it to 1 with 33 seconds left, and I was trying to get them to trap and get the ball out of Bryce Williams' hand, and we just ran up and fouled them. So, there's little things, and part of that's having guys that have never played, in these games. That's part of it. But obviously it's on me and our staff to be able to coach these guys up, to have them perform under pressure, because this is who we have right now. There are no – Brooks isn't coming back. Jalen's not coming back. So these are the guys that are going to be in the game. And hopefully as hard as it is to learn some of these lessons, because, we played worthy enough to win the game with our effort. And, we just did way too many things to shoot ourselves in the foot that were very disappointing and discouraging as a coach.
Questions, Eli?
Ty shot a career-high 15 threes, but then didn't take any field goal attempts after the 14:31 mark in the second half. What do you think they did to stop that, and what do you think you could have done better to create more?
Yeah, we were trying. I mean, they did a really good job. If you watch the film, I mean, they were really hugging. They weren't helping. They kind of changed their defensive. I thought we did some really good things in their normal scheme to get him into the right spots, and then because he had it going, they started just staying with him and making other guys shoot. Which obviously, if you play us and you look, you're gonna stay on Nick and you're gonna stay on Ty. And you're gonna try to have Jordan and Justin and KJ and Angelo and those guys, and we weren't able to make them pay for that. I mean, they did a really good job. We ran a number of things for Ty. We ran an out of bounds pay underneath that. We got an elevator screen for him. He just missed. We ran a late play for him. He kind of curled in there and lost the ball with a couple minutes to go. So we were running stuff for him, but you also don't. He can't just crank. And if they're going to run guys at him, and then you got to make the plays that are there. And we just didn't. We were Jordan and KJ 0 for 10. Angelo 2 for 5. Matt 2 for 6. The other guys. When they were doing it, when they really locked in on Nick and Ty, that's where you have to have balance, and that's why you look for them. Like Sejan gave them 8 points in the second half. Their big kid gives them 10 points. Mia, big points in big situations. And their 2 guys, get 21 and 17. But, I thought we did a pretty good job on those 2 guys. We just 47, we just had too many breakdowns. And again, we can say we could have got this guy going or that guy going, but if we would have held them to in the 30s, we still would have won the game. So to me, it was about our defensive breakdowns more than any of the offense.
Coach, I guess it's a little bit outdated, but we haven't had a home game in a while. Could you just walk us through the decision to burn Jordan's red shirt?
Yeah, that was really Jordan. Obviously, it was his decision to redshirt to start the year. He came to me before the first game and asked could he redshirt, that he wanted to do that, and of course I agreed and said, this is your career. I'm going to support whatever you want to do. And I felt we could have used him, but that's what he wanted to do. So I've very much supported that. And then when Jalen went down and we were so thin at guard, he came to me and just said, Coach, I want to play. The team needs me. I want to get out there with the guys, and I want to get out there and play. And I reiterated to him that I didn't want him to feel any pressure with that, because he had sat the first 20 plus games and there was only 8 or 9 games remaining. And I just wanted him to own, if he wanted to do that, I wanted it to be his decision. And so that was all Jordan. And I appreciate him doing that and trying to be there for his team, because we're so shorthanded at guard, and I think he felt like he could help, and he has. He didn't play great today, but just having another ball handler out there, another defender, another guy who can help get us into sets, I appreciate that he's done that for his team.
Matt?
Coach, as you mentioned before, 47 points in the second half for USC, losing a 20-point lead. Going down memory lane for a quick second, you guys had given up 50 to Wisconsin in the second half in that 6-point loss.
Yeah.
And also, although you pulled out the win against USC, a double-digit lead in that game as well.
Yeah, sure.
Evaporated. So my question is, what do you think is the recurring pattern for this Northwestern defense?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of things. I mean, I think I could sit here for a long time. It's a great question. I think part of it is we get a little fatigued. I think that's just the nature of what we're dealing with right now. We got to play so hard, and our margin for error is so slim, that, I think we do get a little bit tired, and then that's where you got to be mentally and physically tough enough to be able to push through those things. And then I think secondarily, to be quite honest with you, when you play defense in the first half, where is the defense? It's right in front of our bench. So you have the coaches there being able to really talk young guys through where to be, where to help, all that kind of stuff. When you play D in the second half, it's away from your bench. So it really relies more on the guys on the floor having to talk and communicate, and we just haven't done a good job of that. We have not defended well. Our numbers bear that out. We have not been a good defensive team. And especially now when points are really hard to come by, we can't afford not to be a good defensive team. That's why we were winning. We held them to 21. I mean, I thought our defense in the first half was really good. But a lot of that is we were talking them through it, talking them through ball screen coverages, talking them through help. And then you get a little bit tired, and then you don't have the coaches in front of you. Then it really puts it on the guys to really communicate at a high level and talk and be smart. And we just haven't done that. And again, I take responsibility for. At the end of the day, I'm in charge of that. So. I've never been one to, if our guys don't do a good job and they're making mistakes, then the guy who takes it the hardest is me, because that's what we need to do, is coach them up so that under pressure they can perform when it matters most. And we just haven't been able to do that, unfortunately.
More questions, Matt?
Coach, this is about the fourth game in a row where Nick's taken, either high teens or up to mid-20 shots with only 2 or 3 assists. How have you worked with him now that he's at the top of his scouting report to, be a distributor, go through reads, increase his processing speed?
Well, to get assists, the guy has to make the shot that he passes it to. So, if you look at the shooting of the guys he's passing to, it wasn't a very good percentage. So part of it is that. I think he's getting better. He's learning. I think this 8 games he and I have met about this. I feel badly for Nick. What's happened with Brooks and Jalen, it's put him in a situation where it's just put a lot on his plate, which is tough, and I think he was learning to kind of be that guy, but, he was still developing in a lot of those areas. So now he's forced to lead and to score 25 plus, to be a distributor, to your point, to rebound, to play good defense. And I think in the long run, this is going to be really good for his development as he heads into the offseason. But it's putting him in a situation right now where you're seeing really positives. But again, like decision-making, things of that nature, these are all great experiences for him, and he's going through it. And no one wants to be that guy more than him. but there's a process. Like Bryce Williams wasn't this guy last year as a junior, right? He was a really good player for Nebraska, and but he was they had Tominaga and they had some other guys, and he was a good complementary piece, and now he's been a star, and because of those experiences and playing, and now he's a senior, he's become a real go-to guy and one of the best players in our conference, and I give him a lot of credit for that, and I think you'll see that with Nick, but he's got to make better decisions. I'd like for him to be a little bit more efficient. It's hard. I do think he gets a tough because of his unorthodox way he plays. I think he gets, and I'm not knocking the officials, but just he's unorthodox with how he plays, and I feel that he should have been to the line more than 2 times. But again, I'm not calling it on the officials. I just think there's a lot of contact and like a little, but I think because of the way he plays and the way he shoots, it kind of makes him tough to officiate. So, we need to get him to the line a little bit more. We need to try to get him some easy baskets, but guys, it's going to be hard. Like, coaches are smart, man. Like if I was playing against us, don't you think I would put the house on Martinelli and make him pass and make other people shoot? I mean, that's what people are doing. And so we just have to keep building up the confidence of the other guys, and having them be ready. We saw it at Oregon. KJ really stepped up. Obviously, Ty, has done a good job in terms of the scoring piece. But, with Matt, with Justin, with KJ, with Angelo, with Keenan, we got to give Nick enough help where, teams can't just load up completely on him, which is what they're doing right now.
Last question, Chris.
So when you weigh short-term and long-term goals, especially with the squad you have right now, obviously you still make the Big Ten tournament.
No, we're trying to win every game.
Yeah, and not to say that you're not, but I mean, how do you weigh that along with the long-term development of guys like KJ and guys like Angelo?
Yeah, well, I mean, we're there's no real choice now. I mean, they have to play. So I mean, it's they're gonna get big minutes and key spots, and again, we're you guys know me well enough to know, like, we're gonna coach. Like, even today, like, we had a tough road trip. We went out west. We lost 2 tough games. You come home, you're playing a team that's an NCAA quality opponent. Like, how many games have you seen us lay down? Since Brooks and Jalen have been out. And look, man, like, it's not an excuse, but to withstand 2 injuries like that, but to still have the fight, it shows a lot about our guys. And we're still going to fight. We're still going to prepare. We're going to fight. We're going to try to win every game we play. And it's going to be great for all these young guys, to your point, to be able to get really key minutes in clutch time, offense and defense, to learn what it takes to win. And sometimes you got to go through it. I've had to go through it twice, here, which, and we're kind of back there now because of the injuries where, you're playing a bunch of young guys and guys who haven't done it. And, sometimes there can be a lot of heartache there. But then you got to get to the other side. I mean, that's the part of it. That's what we've done twice, with guys that have been young and they've gotten their hearts broken and they've lost really tough games, and then they've gotten better from it. And that's all we can do with these guys, and we just hope with these last 5 games we can put ourselves in a position to be in a chance to win more. We're going to get ready to play Ohio State on Thursday and go to Columbus and see if we can compete. So we're going to keep plugging along and keep investing and keep working in these guys, and hopefully we can see improvement as we get game to game here the rest of the way.
All right, we'll wrap this up.
All right, thanks, guys. Thank you.
Coach.
Yep.
Today, held scoreless though in the last 15 minutes. What helped you get off to such a hot start, and then what were they able to do to kind of deter you down the stretch?
I think just the attention that Nick brought and just me being in the right spots opened up a lot of just easy, wide open catch and shoot threes, and then just staying confident throughout the game.
For either of you guys, Coach was just kind of talking about how it can be a little bit more difficult to play defense in the second half when you guys are on the other side of the court and the coaches are a little further away. Do you guys feel like it's harder to have that player communication? You don't have the coaches right there when you're playing defense?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's definitely harder because it more relies on the 5 that are out there on the court talking and versus the entire bench calling out actions and play. So it's just a communication thing, and definitely something we got to work on.
Ty, you attempted 12 threes in the first half, 3 in the second. Was there something that changed in the calculus, or were you just being more heavily defended in the second half, do you think?
I think they were more aware in the second half, and I feel like they did a good job of closing out and knowing where I was.
You played the entire game. That's the third game that you've played start to end since Brooks was ruled out with that foot injury. Obviously, the weight of this team is kind of falling on your shoulders as you've been one of the best players in the Big Ten. And how are you handling that?
Yeah, I'm obviously super grateful for the opportunity. When I came in here as a freshman, all I wanted to do was get on the court, and I have to obviously telling myself that every day that I'm in such a unbelievable place and opportunity basketball-wise. And yeah, just my relationship with God, trusting that He has a plan, something that, all my anxiety and anxiousness is given to Him. So yeah, that's definitely part of it, huge part.
Time for a couple more questions. Still left there.
Yeah, for either of you, I mean, obviously, y'all are kind of leaders on this team with Brooks and Jalen out. It's kind of fallen on you. What's this type of loss? Y'all have experienced this type of rough patch before, but some of the younger guys haven't. How can you prevent it from cascading and them taking it too hard?
Yeah, I think it's just basketball's a game of runs, and as much as you want to close games out, it's hard to get and I feel like we learn from it, and that's something also that the young guys got to learn from. It happens. I mean, me being here for 5 years, I've had plenty of games like that. So just learning from it, and kind of everybody buying in those last 8 minutes of the game is something that we definitely need to work on as well too.
Last question, Sponge.
Ty, a little bit over a year ago against Nebraska, you had your major injury here. How do you put into perspective that happened a little bit 53 weeks ago, and now you come out and score 23 points against that same team?
Yeah, no, I definitely thought that was something I thought about when I woke up this morning. The last time I played Nebraska here in Welsh-Ryan didn't turn out so good for me. But also I put my faith in God, just knowing that He has a plan and everything happens for a reason. And so that today I was just going to come out here and play as hard as I can and leave it all out there.
All right, that'll wrap us up. Thank you.
Thank you.